What's up, everybody? N65, and today we're gonna be looking at some more horror stories. This is part 15. I 15. This part free of the series so far. So yeah, let's just get into the video. So okay, first off, we're gonna choose this one. Choose 7-Eleven.
So I live in an apartment complex right next to a 7-Eleven, literally about a 2-minute walk from my door. So, since all this quarantine lockdown mess, I'd been staying up later than usual, maybe around 2 or 3 a.m. most nights. So last night, a little bit after 12, I had a taste for some chips and decided I'd just go cross the street to 7-Eleven real quick, which I go to regularly.
Okay,
I made
okay.
my way over, and on my way in, I had to pass this man who was browsing on the red box kiosk. I don't think much of it. I go inside, get some snacks, pay, and head out the door. As
Pringles.
I'm coming out, though, the red box man is literally staring dead at me with these scarily bright light blue eyes. But not wanting to freak myself out even more, I say to myself, maybe he's zoned out or something, and deep in thought. I wander into La La Land myself sometimes, so by thinking that, I was trying to make myself more comfortable having to walk past this strange man. I'm headed back into my apartment complex, which is on this side of the street. It has a creaky gate door. I realized as I was walking that I never heard it slam behind me, like I always have every time before. I look back, and the man is standing right behind me, not close up on me, but still definitely following. Once again, trying to use my mind, I think to myself that he must be going home. I also noticed, though, that he didn't have any discs in his hand, for as much as he was at the kiosk the whole time I was in the store, taking my sweet, indecisive time. Not wanting to come off as scared, I kept my same pace. I probably should have sprinted, though, because fuck being nice. Anyways,
Oh, do these people know what demonetization is? It doesn't seem like it.
I'm literally just a few steps away from my door, which is upstairs, when the man randomly calls out to me, "Hey, do you have a lighter?" Out of instinct, I turned my head to the fact I knew someone was speaking to me, and responded, "No, I don't. Sorry." I didn't want to just go up my stairs, because I didn't want to let this man know exactly which apartment I live in. I was planning on walking around until I lost him, but he asked me another question. "Hey, could I use your bathroom?" "No, sorry, my roommates probably wouldn't be comfortable with me letting someone in this late. I don't have any roommates, but I damn sure didn't want this man getting any ideas thinking I was by myself." I kept on walking, but the man was still following me. I simply asked, "Do you live around here or something?" "I have a buddy that does, and he was supposed to meet me across the way there, but maybe he fell asleep. I've never been here before, but I do know his door is number 201. Could you help me find it? 201 is my door. If you have a friend that lives over here, why are you asking to use my bathroom?" I knew this man was lying, and up to something. I quickly came up with 201. That should be right past the pool next to the laundry area. My friends are waiting for me, so I should get going. My gut told me to head to my car, though, because what if he watched where I was going and decides to give me a surprise later on? No. I watch too many movies and read too many stories uploaded on here. I start heading towards the parking lot, not running, but definitely walking way quicker than before. I look back and realize that the man is chasing me at this point. I hurry up and pull my keys out of my pocket. I jump into my car and immediately lock the doors. The man runs up and starts pounding on my driver's side window. "Open the door, you bitch!" I can't help but focus on those creepy blue eyes, but I also notice that he was reaching for something in his pocket. I start up my car before I can see what it is he's going to pull out. I heard a loud pop, but I didn't give a fuck in that moment. as long as I could get the fuck out of his presence.
Oh my
It was
god,
a 5
shut
minute drive
up.
straight to this Arco gas station before I finally called the police. Waiting on the police to arrive, I noticed what the popping sound was. This wacko had popped my back tire with a switchblade. Of course, when the police arrived and checked the area, the motherfucker was long gone. They did question the 7-Eleven clerk, and he let them know that the man had been up there a few times since last week. He'd never been a problem before, but he was obviously homeless. I'm still shook up about what went on last night. I think I'm just gonna chill on late night trips to the 7-Eleven for a while.
That was a good story, but I'm probably gonna get demonetized now. And I don't know how to bleep curse words. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm gonna try to learn. But let's try this. A dark web horror story.
My name is Charlie. I used to smoke a lot of weed back in the day when I was a teenager, but it became very
I remember this voice. I remember this voice. I remember this voice. I used to watch this guy.
bland and boring, but I also told myself not to try any other drugs. At school, my friend Christine told me that she heard the best weed was on the dark web. I knew a little about the deep and dark web, but I thought that drugs would be something geared more toward the deep web. Maybe I didn't know as much as I thought. My friend got with me later and told me she ordered me some weed. About a week later, I was at home by myself on a Friday night when someone knocked at my door. I went to the door and looked out of the peephole and saw some guy with a black t-shirt, black Yankees cap, with sunglasses on, and it looks like a box in his hands. I was immediately skeptical because it was 9 p.m. He didn't need sunglasses at night, and no one delivered packages this late. I didn't say anything because I figured he would just walk away. I called Christine to ask her how long that order would take, and she said about a week. I told her that there's a man outside my door with a package. Could that be him? She asked, why would someone be standing outside your door with weed? Then all of a sudden, I heard, "Hey Charlie, I have your package. I know you're home. I see you through the window." I turned around, and this man was standing on a patio on my back porch looking through the sliding door windows. I'm guessing this guy went from my front door to my back porch because I wasn't answering the door. I told my friend and she said to call the cops. He was trying to get in the back, messing with the door handle. I hung up on my friend and I called the cops. I ran out of sight of this guy, and I didn't hear him anymore. About 5 to 10 minutes later, the cops showed up. That box was outside my back door, and written on it was, "You're lucky." And there was nothing in the box but paper. After that, I never spoke with my friend Christine anymore because, honestly, I didn't trust her. I thought she tried to set me up. Anytime someone brings up the dark web or even the deep web, I will either change the topic or I'll be quiet. I used to visit it occasionally, but after that situation, I've never done it again.
Nice story. Okay, guys, I wanna make this series, and I am, but I wanna change something. I'm gonna be rating these horror stories from 1 to 10. Okay, the that one was a good 6.
The traumatizing events of this story happened to me several years ago.
The male
This is the
Santa
first
Claus.
time I'm sharing my story publicly in hopes it may help others who read it. At the time, I was a mother of a 4-year-old daughter. Her name is Juniper, and she is my entire life. The day of these events, my husband was at work, so I decided to do some Christmas shopping at the mall.
Wait,
On the way in, Juniper
my husband? You sound like a dude.
saw Santa sitting in the middle of the atrium and began jumping because I assumed she associated Santa with presents. We decided to get into line, even though it was long. We could get a picture and she could tell Santa what she wanted for Christmas. When it was finally Juniper's chance to sit on his lap, I immediately felt uncomfortable. I didn't like the way he was staring at her. His eyes were big and looked as if though he had been on something. She sat there for a moment and told the man what she wanted as I watched, filled with anxiety. After about 2 minutes, he got her off his lap and winked goodbye to her and said Merry Christmas. Happy this ordeal was over, we did the little bit of shopping we had to do and pressed on through the day. While I was browsing around one of the clothing stores, I looked up and thought I noticed the mall.
Why is everything really blurry except you? Like, is that a real person, but just blurred out with animation? Like, bruh.
Sitting outside of the store we were in. Not taking any chances, I grabbed Juniper and walked out of the other entrance of the store. After a little while longer of shopping, we decided to get some lunch in the food court of the mall. I kept my eyes peeled because I just had Mother's intuition that something wasn't right. We were finishing our food, and literally as we were about to get up, the mall Santa came over to our table. He walked right up to Juniper and said in a jolly Santa-like voice, "Hey there, Juniper. Remember to be good so Santa can come and bring you lots of presents." She was so excited, and so were all the people around me. It's easy to say what you would do in that situation, but I just stood still. I thought freaking out my daughter and rushing her away from Santa would be a traumatizing event, so I grabbed her hand and told her it was time to go. She said goodbye to Santa and we left. That night at home, I told my husband about the entire story.
You sound like a
He was
dude,
angry,
bruh.
But agreed with my course of action. The next day, I woke up at about 8 a.m. My husband was already gone for work for the day. I happened to look outside and saw a strange blue car that I had never noticed parked outside my house. This didn't really bother me considering it could have been anyone, but it was just peculiar. At about 11 a.m., I looked out the window again and noticed the car was still in the exact same spot. I made the choice to go out to my mailbox in front of my home and investigate the car. The car was empty, except for the passenger seat. There was a Santa hat on the seat. I tried not to jump to any conclusions, but it was just starting to make too much sense in my head. I ran inside and called my husband. He said I was grasping at straws, but decided to come home anyway to make sure I was okay. A couple of minutes later, my worst fear was realized. I looked out the window and saw the man in his car. It was the mall Santa, and he was taking a picture of my house with his cell phone. Once he saw me, he drove away, and he drove away so fast I couldn't get the license plate number. Minutes later, my husband came home and I explained what I saw. We called the authorities, but there really wasn't anything that could be done. I felt angry with myself that I looked at the car all morning and couldn't get a license plate number. My husband stayed home from work the next day just in case. At about noon, we walked around the house and noticed footprints outside of Juniper's window. Footprints in the snow that neither of us left. That night, I couldn't sleep. I felt like I was just waiting for something horrible to happen. My husband, Juniper, and I all decided to have a camp out in the living room so she could be with us all night. Shortly after midnight, my husband and I were alerted to the sound of a car pulling up. It was the mall Santa car from the day before, and he was approaching the house with a giant bag in his hand. I called the police as my husband stalked him through the windows. The lights were off, so the mall Santa couldn't see us through the windows. He made his way all the way to Juniper's window. He started to tap on the windows, almost as if though he was trying to wake her up. My husband stood on the other side of the window, trying not to scare him away until the cops came. That's when we heard it. "Hey, Juniper, It's Santa. Come take a ride in my sleigh and I'll show you the reindeer. Praying that the cops would show up any minute, I sat in the fetal position, not knowing if this lunatic had a gun or any other weapon. He kept tapping and whispering, "It's me, Santa." Finally, the cops showed up, and when we heard the sirens out front, my husband jumped out the window and tackled them all Santa. My husband yelled for the cops, and the cops detained the man. He didn't have any weapons on him, but his car did have duct tape and rope. It gives me nightmares to this day, thinking of that horrible situation and what could have happened. My Christmas miracle is that my family is safe, and my daughter didn't have to really experience any of the intense feelings my husband and I did over those couple of days. If you as a parent have instincts about the safety of your child, please follow them. If I would have just left the mall when I felt uneasy, I could have possibly avoided this entire series of events.
That was very creepy. That's why I don't go to to those mall Santas. I do not want to go to them. But yeah. Okay. 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 I'll give that actual 8 out of 10. Scary Home Alone story.
When I was 10 years old, I stayed at home by myself for the first time while my parents went out for a date. I was really into horror movies, so my imagination ran wild, so I had every light on in the house. I was scared, honestly, but not so much due to the lights. My parents told me they would be back by 10, so I wasn't really worried. I had food, blockbuster movies to watch, and my favorite game, Manhunt, on my PS2. By the way, this was 2004. It started to get dark outside when all of a sudden
I almost wanted to roast the hell out of him because he was doing such old things like PS2 and Blockbuster. I so wanted to roast this guy until he mentioned it was 2004. Okay, that's good now.
and the lights went out. As soon as it happened, I ran into our living room near the front of the house with my flashlight. I was definitely afraid now. I decided to get under the covers on the couch. I tried to fall asleep, but I was so afraid I couldn't.
Wow. Like, bruh, call the police or your parents. Okay, don't call the police immediately because there's no bad signs, but call your parents to get the hell from their Chipotle date and come to the house.
I don't know why, but I peeked out from under the covers, and I swear, I saw the silhouette of a man in the corner of the room. I jumped.
Oh my god. I hate those things where it looks like boom. I hate those things. It's so just creepy. It's just creepy.
Breathing heavily. Then all I heard was slow, methodical footsteps. They were coming toward me. Then I heard whispering along with the footsteps. My heart was pumping out of my chest at this point. Then the sound stopped. I just laid there frozen. No sound. Go! I got up and ran out of the house because it felt like someone touched my arm.
Oh my. I want to hear that again. It was so creepy.
Go! And I know I heard someone yell the word go. I pretty much ran out of the house with the blanket over my head. I ran to my neighbor's house. I told them what happened and they called the cops on their cell phones. My parents arrived a little later than they expected due to
Wow, thank you. Thank you for getting the hell out of your Chipotle McDonald day.
bad traffic. They seemed angry about what happened. The police say that there was no evidence of a break-in. I still to this day remember that feeling of fear, but I really don't know if it were my imagination or not.
Ten out of 10. Oh my god. Why you gotta be like that? Oh my god, that made me jump. Oh my god, like bruh, you serious? And I'm playing this on full volume. You don't know how terrified I am right now. That's 10 out of 10, 10 definitely. The scary the scary encounter.
Back during the summer of 2011, a few friends and I decided to organize a little camping trip to a forest just a few miles outside our hometown.
Okay guys, I just wanna quickly I just wanna say this. Please go follow me on TikTok. I am super close. I am super close to 100 subscribers. It would mean a lot to me. I just really please go follow me on my TikTok. And yeah, thank you guys. Let's go back into the video. Let's go.
Delamere Forest, despite being pretty small, presented us with a much needed opportunity to connect with nature. City living can be good, but it can be stifling, so any chance to get out into the countryside was well received. But as time went by, and the date of the camping trip approached, things began to unravel. One by one, various friends called and texted to inform us that they wouldn't be attending. Be it family illness, lack of cash, or just laziness, in the end there was only 2 of us that actually decided to go. So early on a sunny summer morning, we boarded a train for the journey down
Whoever said they didn't want to go, good job.
to the forest. The weather was perfect. A cloudless sky with a light breeze that made the hike through the woods not near early on a sunny summer
Just
morning.
wait.
We boarded a train for the journey down to the forest. The weather was perfect. A cloudless sky
Cloudless? I see a cloud. Get it right.
with a light breeze that
go.
made the hike through the woods not nearly as oppressive as we were expecting. It didn't take long for us to find a decent spot in the shade that happened to be right next to a stream we could use for washing and drinking water. The only trouble was the spot was very open, visible to passerbys and not the least bit subtle. So it's late afternoon. We're tired from our hike and we decided to build a fire to cook some dinner on. But here's the thing. Building a small fire is an essential part of camping, sure, but it attracts people. The smell of burning wood and the cooking food, the smoke. Sometimes you might as well be announcing yourself to the whole forest with a megaphone or something. But we know this, so we're not exactly surprised when a group of locals stumbles across our little camp and comes down to say hello. They seem friendly enough at first, and this might sound paranoid, but the whole time I just had this bad feeling about them. It fascinates me how humans pick up things like that. Little clues in body language or speech that leads us to believe that someone isn't being entirely genuine.
Good.
I wasn't sure if it was the way the locals were looking at each other or the strange probing questions they asked, but I knew they didn't have the best of intentions.
What kind of questions did they ask?
We were out of earshot. My friend suggested we move the camp. Now he's normally the skittish one who I'm perennially telling to calm down or chill out, but on this occasion I knew he was right. Maybe we were being a little bit paranoid, but in instances such as that, it's always better to be safe than sorry.
Good.
So, as tired and half drunk as we were, we packed up our stuff, doused the fire, and then started looking for another place to set up camp.
Good.
Luckily, we found somewhere pretty quick. A healthy
Good.
hill that basically overlooked our old campsite on one side.
Good. 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 Good.
Not
Good.
that we
Good.
had a great
Good.
view of it, but if you walked a minute or so away from camp, we had a pretty good view of the surrounding area. At least we did during the daytime. As the sun set, we started another fire, cooked ourselves up some ramen noodles in our mess tins, then proceeded to drink and smoke ourselves stupid. We talked nonsense around the fire until we were too tired and drunk to continue, then retired to our photo shelters for the
Sorry,
night.
guys.
I'm pretty sure I passed out as soon as I got into my sleeping bag, as I don't remember drifting off or anything. I just know that the next thing I can recall is opening my eyes in pitch darkness to the sound of a distant car revving its engine. At first, I was just annoyed to be woken up. The hangover was kicking in hard, and I felt like boiled feces as I tried to fall back asleep. But the distant vehicle kept revving its engine, and as the sound grew louder and louder, I knew it was getting closer. Something told me to go and check it out by the time I started to hear voices. It might have been just a bunch of kids taking a stolen car for a spin, but like I said, sometimes it's better to be safe than sorry. But when I go to the edge of the hill, I can already see torch beams all over our old campsite. The revving engine was from a vehicle that had been driven all the way down the forest path to our previous camp. Someone was down there, looking for us. I think I acted more out of instinct than anything else, moving as quickly and quietly as I could back to my sleeping friend to wake him up. I must have explained what I'd seen like 2 or 3 times. He was just as exhausted and half drunk as I was, but when it sank in, he was up on his feet with me and helping to kick dirt on our dying fire. We then grabbed a pair of binoculars we were carrying with us and then ran back to the edge of the hill to watch the scene below. In utter horror, we could see what was in the men's hands, thanks to the torches that they shone on one another. Baseball bats, hammers, and a length of rope were just a few of the things they carried. They spat and cursed, furious that they'd come back too late to catch us to do God knows what. All we had were our Swiss Army knives to defend ourselves with. With one person keeping watch, the other went back to camp to pack their gear as fast as they could. The guys down below were hanging around our old camp, picking at the fire we'd so carefully constructed, taking all their spite out on the things we'd left behind. They didn't seem keen on actually looking for us, but they didn't seem like they were in a hurry to leave either. This meant we were essentially stuck on this wooded hill, as an escape attempt with our heavy packs meant that if we were discovered, there would be no outrunning any of them, especially since they had a vehicle. We ended up staying there until morning. Neither of us could get any sleep despite the gang leaving with their vehicle. I remember being terrified they'd return with more torches, with more of a will to find us. But they didn't. They were probably sleeping off their own hangovers by the time we were on the train ride home. Be careful when you're traveling around, whether it is internationally or locally, because despite the unfathomable kindness of strangers, some of them aren't so friendly.
That wasn't so creepy. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. But okay. Let's see this one. Narrated by Let's Read Animations by Gina. Oh, it's done? Wow. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. Hope you guys have a great day, and Swifter out. Bye, guys.